Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා අර්ණර සඛී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන්
Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
Very good afternoon and welcome to the Police Sports Club grounds here in Colombo 5 as they host Kandy Sports Club, the top finishers in the first round of the Nippon Paints Rugby League. Kandy remained unbeaten, of course, and they were driven close by Havelock side, which flattered to deceive up in Nittavala, but they'll be coming here to Colombo outside of their fortress SW Chang to play a police team that is very confident, that played outstandingly good rugby last week against their opponents, and this week will be looking to spring a real surprise at their home ground. They've got the crowd behind them. We haven't heard them in full voice yet, and as we see the chairman of Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Rizli Elias on the right there, and of course the patron of Kandy Rugby, Mr. Malik Samaravikrama there as well, and a lot of the other dignitaries in this Police Sports Club Pavilion. An excellent facility here. The Police Sports Club, a great ground as well to play rugby on, a nice open pitch, and we are at the mercy of the winds as well sometimes when you kick that ball up in the air, and there's certainly going to be plenty of kicking, I'm sure, today, because we've got two good fly halves who like to kick the ball and kick it well, and two good fullbacks as well who will be running the ball back. Srinath Suryabandar is starting at fullback for Kandy. That's a nice surprise to see Srinath Suryabandar starting for Kandy as well. Another big comeback for the Kandy team. We have Shehan Pathirana binding down on the flank as well. So that's going to be another interesting comeback from Lema, who retired just a few months ago but has had to have a comeback, possibly because of the migration of Buaneka Udangamua. It's the president of Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Rizli Elias, and he is surveying his domain in this Nippon Paints Rugby League. This is Police Sports Club team. Hashan Fernando, Deshan Fernando and Anushka Edirisuriya, who have been a formidable front row for Police. Mohant Vimalaratna and Lahiru Tilakaratna have been really good in the line out. Vagesh Avirasinghe and Nisal Samadhi. Dimalka Tilakaratna will be excellent in that third row as well. They were outstanding last week. Primesh Pereira and Johan Piris. A lot will depend on how Johan Piris controls the game today. Janit Chanaka fresh off a try last week. Vihanga Piyuthuru is a big man in centre field. Eroshan Silva the captain. Gihan Silva and Suranga Tennakun, who has been safe as houses at the back for Police Sports Club. This is the champion Kandy outfit. Lasita Attanagore, Damit Disanayaka, Milan Virasinghe in the front. Thirina Bandar and Heshan Silva. A bit of a stuttering line out that Kandy have at the moment. Hopefully they would have worked on it. Tharindu Chaturanga has been in outstanding form. Shehan Pathirana makes a comeback. Let's see how he does in his first game back. Jason Disanayaka, Roshan Veeraratna, Nigel Ratwat, Buddhiva Piyaratna in the number 11 jersey has been scoring plenty of tries this year. And Tharinda Ratwat with Kavindu Pereira in the 13 jersey. And Dilaksha Dange on the right wing, and Srinath Suryabandar coming back into the starting lineup at fullback. Not a completely unfamiliar position for him. He sweeps in the sevens game and certainly has played at fullback before in the 15s as well. So it will be a very, very interesting comeback for some of these stalwarts of Kandy Sports Club. We see Nigel Ratpat leading his team out to the smattering of applause here at Police Sports Club. There's going to be a clash on the field, and certainly there's going to be a battle of voices in the pavilion as well between this Kandy crowd and the Police crowd. In the box with me, former player, coach and referee SW Chang. It's going to be a cracking game, isn't it, today?
Oh, absolutely, Shanaka. You are absolutely right. We were reading the names through. And look at the Kandy Sports Club lineup. The start of Surya Bandara playing number 15. Generally, he's a halfback there up there. What a tremendous effort. Are they expecting Police to put the high ball so that there'll be a counter-attack? That's what left to be seen. And Police, as you said, their number 10 is going to be a key position, crucial game for him. If the lad comes through, Kandy is going to have problems. At the same time, as you talk about the wind and the heat and everything, and we got Papare at the mercy of Papare on the right corner, the Papare band, of course, and you will hear it very soon. And so we are back with the Nippon paint, and absolutely this is going to be a absolute super evening.
A brand new coat of paint on the Sri Lanka Rugby League, and a brand new chapter in this Rugby League as well. As you know, these are the two teams competing in the Cup Championship. This is the first round of games in the Cup Championship. The first 4 teams going through, of course, and number 1 among those is Kandy, who are in the white here today, and Police in 4th position. They had to scramble to make it into the Cup Championship, which they did fairly comfortably in the end last week with a victory over Army. But now that they're in the Cup Championship, not a lot separating these sides, and we will have to wait and see how this one goes. In the Cup Championship already, we've seen Havelocks comfortably beating CH, so this will be the second of the Cup Championship games in this weekend, and I'm sure it's going to be far more competitive than we saw the one yesterday, because Police are here to make a statement on their home grounds. Referee Veranga in the middle. He will be the man tasked with controlling this intense battle as Johan Pires gets us underway at Police Park. Tirina Bandara knocks the ball on early doors, and Mohan Vimalaratna takes it up into contact. Primesh, who has been very good serving from the base, hasn't done a lot wrong. Johan Pires again with the ball behind Vihanga Pevituru. So that's 2 knock-ons, and the referee will come back for the first one of Tilina Bandara from the kickoff.
First knock on wide.
Bit of a problem for Buddhima Peyaratna on the left wing side, it seems to be, but nothing too serious, I'm sure, as they will come back for the first scrum of the game. So Police's scrum last week was impressive, wasn't it, SW? It's an area of the game you and I both like. So it's good to see how they will try and compete with Kandy in this area.
Absolutely right, because they were very good in the competing and the scrummages, and they have always been. And we just saw a picture of retired senior DIG Maso, who was up front there, and his boot was a sing-song for the scoreboard for Police for many years. And yes, they have held it tight, but they are against another heavy pack, which is equally good, but not that they were not. Kandy not as strong than what we used to be, with the likes of Silvam and Sean Vijay Singh and the crowd, and Bona Gaudangamua, the rest of the boys. But the restart was very poor by Kandy Sports Club. I mean, you can't afford to lose that ball.
Yes, it was a cardinal mistake.
Set. Steady both.
Especially with the first touch of the ball, you want to try and secure it and get yourself in the opposition territory. Primesh off the back to Vihanga Pevituru. First up, and he decides to take the contact to test the Kandy waters. Veranga policing the offside line. Here's Mohan Vimalaratna, who's been doing a lot of carrying this year. And now they come back to the left. Eroshan Silva. Straight through, but not through the tackle of Lasita Attanagoda. Here's Dimalka Tilakaratna. Was shown 2 yellows last week, but that doesn't result in a ban because there was no foul play involved. And again, that ball was not a great one from Dehan Fernando, the hooker, but still Police going. Brought down by a last gasp tackle from Kamindu Pereira. And now the ball seems to be available for the visitors. Roshan Veeraratne will have his first touch of the game in the 3rd minute.
No, blue, no! Blue, no! Stay back, stay back. Stay back!
Kandy through Jason Disanaika, laid back for the boot of Srinath Surya Bandara, who thumps this one downfield. Doesn't really worry too much about where it ends up as long as it's far enough. And here's Gihan Silva, taken down in a good tackle by Srinath Surya Bandara, chasing his own kick. And Nigel Rothwatha, the ball bounces kindly for him, but the whistle has just gone. So the excitement is short-lived. But they do come back for a penalty, SW. So Kandy did really well to get out of there and put the pressure on the other end immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. They had the breakdown point, the tackle situation, driven beautifully. You can win a ball, at the tackle situation if your forwards get together and drive. They just showed that. I don't know what the incident where the referee gave the penalty for, or what the infringement was, but nevertheless, the Blues get a breathing space with the penalty. Otherwise, Nigel Ratata's try would have counted.
Johan Pires finds a decent touch with his first kick from the mark.
Right, Mark.
So first line out of the game.
White, 10 white.
Shehan Pathirana coming back, of course, will greatly strengthen Kandy's line out. They were faltering a bit the last game I watched. But now with him back in the side and Jason Disanaik and Thinina Bandara, they've got three top quality jumpers. And as we said,
First no foul.
Kandy lose the ball, but referee says it was first knocked on by Thinina Bandara at the front. So it will be a second scrum. So again, the teams, even though it's just the 5th minute of the game, SW, we saw them warming up for a long time. We were talking about this last week as well. And already in just the 5th minute, they seem a little bit lackadaisical. They seem to be taking their time to get to the scrums, to walk to the scrums, to walk to the lineouts, which is not what we expect in the 5th minute of a
Steady,
game.
board steady.
Yeah, that's right. But at least we saw them training and warming up under the shade, under the trees in the shade. At least that was some step towards it. As we see the Blues attacking.
Suranka Tennakun now straightening, showing and going. Tries to get the ball back on the inside, but again it's fallen kindly for Nigel Ratwatta, who often finds himself in the right place at the right time, which is not luck, it's a skill. Thrown back by Jason Disanaika, not the wisest thing to be doing.
Release.
But Damit Disanaika now has to come through and tidy that ball up. So it's been a bit of a hot potato for Kandy so far. Roshan Veeraratne with that trademark box kick that Primesh is waiting for, his opposite number.
Look at back, look at back, look at back.
Tennakun kicks it into the hands of Tarinder Ratwatta, who drops it backwards. And Damit Disanaika taken at the second time of asking by the police defender, almost intercepted by Hiroshima Silva. He hacks it ahead, but referee will call them back for the knock-on. Hiroshima Silva, if he saw that just half a second earlier, he was through on goal, SW.
There you are, Shanaka. You got the bumper band back in the police team. Of course, they just missed the interception there, and the ball went off. I know you're going to hear it. Hopefully our viewers can hear what we say.
I'm sure this adds to the atmospheric ambience. Another scrum, and about the third scrum in a very short time.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Quite a few stoppages in this game so far. Not a lot of continuity, especially for a cup championship game. Pathirana off the back. Surya Bandara in at fly half. And taken by Diluk Chadange. Manages to try and get it back to Surya Bandara, who drops the ball. Surya Bandara insisting it hit him on his hip. But a nice kick there from Surya Bandara. And if you notice it, SW, he kicked the ball on the bottom, so that when it bounced, he knew that it was going to bounce backwards. So another brilliant piece of skill from him.
Absolutely good skill. Now you might be the reason why he's playing as a fullback, number 15. So he could be used on both sides of the field. And I think he was surprised to see the ball being popped up by Dange. Fantastic rugby so far. They've been not. They should have had the points of the board by now, because they had so much openings.
Sure, I thought Diluk Chadange could probably have held on to that one a little, as Kandy's scrum puts enormous pressure on Johan Pires, who manages to still get it away nicely. And Dange decides against the quick throw, and Kandy will have an attacking line out just in between, about 42 meters out. Seems like the ball was touched, so it might end up being Police's line out. Indeed it is. So that pressure resulted in a touch on the ball, but not
Touch the lion.
a line out for Kandy.
10.
Nicely won at the front by Mohan Vimalaratne. Johan Pires passes behind his advancing Potter forwards, Hiroshima Silva. Here's Suranga Tennakon. Has been really good in attack for Police. From the fullback position, Primesh. Thundering onto that ball was Nimalka Tilakaratne. And here's Mohan Vimalaratne, the other ball carrier that Police are using in their front five.
No. Stay.
Primesh. Jason Dissanayake shoots up quickly and the ball is charged down. Heshan Kalhara will go under the posts. And it looks like it is a try. Heshan Kalhara has never run that far to score a try before. But he couldn't believe it as the heavens opened up in front of him. And he just waded through from the kick, from the charge down. And all the pressure that the Kandy forwards had been putting on Johan Pires finally paid off.
Absolutely, Shanaka. You and I know what it is for prop forward to score a try. He was so delighted. Suddenly he saw the open space and the white line. He was saying, nobody's going to stop me now. And then, of course, he had the two of his teammates supporting him, and no one else, no blue shirts were there. Even the blue shirts were surprised to see a prop forward charging it down and scoring that try. Brilliant.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to have a look at that again, but it was a lovely bounce straight into the hands of Heshan Kalhar. And good old Silva will be very happy with that try. He's been playing for Kandy for a few years. I don't think he's scored a try from that range before. As Sarinder Atwata looks to add the extra points, and easy does it for a kicker of his quality. And suddenly, despite having most of the ball, Police find themselves down on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you're right. Police had possession and territorial advantage. But having said that, the only time that Kandy came into the half or put pressure has been because Police somehow or other, either the kicks were charged down or the passes are not good, and or they are handling errors.
Behind the ball, blue.
So Police will need to ensure that they don't let their body language get the better of them. Jason Dissanayake at that time does
Ball.
much better
Ball.
with the restart. Kandy trying to maul this one, slow it down and maybe exit their territory a little bit more competently. Diluk Shadange, beautifully taken from him.
Back form, stay back.
It's available now for Roshan Veeraratne. In fact, Jason Dissanayake to Nigel Ratwata. And here's the danger man, Kavindu Pereira. He's got some space on him. Tarinder Ratwata with a lovely inside collection. And that ball, as soon as he tries to offload it, was dragged down by a Police defender in the nick of time. And now Johan Pires looks to run. Here it is for Vihanga Pivitaru. Vihan Silva can't get past Buddhima Piyaratna from Surya Bandara rather. Primesh. Good bust up the middle from Hashan Fernando, but he's met equally well by the try scorer Heshan Silva. Primesh. Mohan Vimalaratne. Mohan Vimalaratne is through the first line of defense. Lovely ball out to Nisal Samadhi, his third row partner. Herring towards the 22-meter line. Primesh finds the ball and finds a space on the outside, but Police leave the ball behind. And Asanka Rodrigo is absolutely livid on the bench of the Police team. That was a scoring opportunity, and Police should really have made better of it.
Number 15.
I'm sure the referee will have a chat on the high
Number
high
22.
tackle there where he played advantage. Shanak, the interesting part is, do you play advantage on a dangerous play, on a high
That's
tackle?
control
That's the
kanda.
question I was
That
asking
ilang-
some
ilang
of the
option right?
referees of yesteryears. And
Dangerous play.
apparently
Captain.
you don't play advantage on a dangerous
Atana-
play. That's what I was told.
High
I'm
tackle
not
leg
sure.
advantage ko alam ito. Get kira.
Well, some of the international matches I've seen, there is a fair bit of play even after a high tackle is committed. SW, firstly because I think the referees really want to check it with the TMO. They do a check call and they keep playing. So they will come back to it later and they will give a card later as well. But I think what's important to discuss is just because a play comes back to a high tackle, an advantage has been played, you shouldn't not give a card. Imagine if a team gets a high tackle, go on to score a try, you should still come back and penalize the player who made that high tackle, even though you do award the try to the team.
Yeah, I understand that. Now, in this incident where the police
Blue,
had
10 blue.
an advantage of a penalty advantage on a high tackle, shouldn't he got the ball to the spot?
Well, I probably deemed that police had the advantage and that there was not enough foul play component. Mohan Vimalaratne again, who broke the line of defense to make that break. Vihanga Pevituru, Eroshan Silva, Suranga Tennako ducks under the tackle of Kavindu Pereira, still going.
No.
Police fullback has done plenty of charging so far. Mohan Vimalaratne
Form.
brought down by Milan Veerasinghe. Kandy trying to counter-ruck and can see the hands in there as police almost without a doubt had the penalty there. It's going to be an interesting call. SW Chang saying very definitely that it needs to be 3 points. And that looks like they're not listening to you, SW. They're going for the corner.
Naughty boys, Shanaka. They might come right, but it first will get the 3 points on the board. And you open the scoring 7-3. One try, you go to the dressing room, 1 point ahead, and a happy dressing room.
So police didn't win the last line out cleanly. So it'll be interesting to see where they go, whether they go to the front with this one. It's exactly what they do, and Kandy choose to sack, which they do very well. It's another specialty of Shehan Pathirana, who has come back, sacks the line out really well in defense. But police will pick and drive close to the line. They're about 4 meters away. Great counter-rucking by Kandy as well. Tarindu Chaturanga there. Police picking up and going through Dehan Fernando. And here's Nisal Samadhi, the strong man.
Step back.
Lays the ball back nicely for his teammates. Vagisha Veerasinghe adding his weight to the ball carrier. Dimantha Tilakaratne. Eroshan Silva asks for the forwards to keep it. The police captain. And they've got their arm out for another penalty. And referee Veranga awards the penalty for police. Vagisha Veerasinghe wanted to take it quickly but warned against it. The 3 points for the taking, SW. They've got to take this surely.
No, they just want to go in for that 7 points. They should have gone for the 3 points, come back, refreshed, and maybe you come back again and then put pressure on the police. They've been putting pressure on the Kandy team so far. Now they opt for the scrum. It's been interesting to see what they do with the scrum.
Well, they've been quite confident with their scrum, although Kandy did shove them back a little while earlier on the other side of the field. But there's plenty of room on the right side for Dimantha Tilakaratne and 3 men over. So police have an even split of their backs on either side of the scrum. Would probably have moved one back over to the left and left a little bit of space. And maybe moved a defender over the other way so that the number 8 has a gap to run into. Tilakaratne goes to the left this time. Primesh for Johan Peris. Beautiful tackle on him by Ratwata and Pathirana. And police are back where they started, using the same tactic.
Release.
Getting closer and closer this time. Damit Disanaika trying to foil. Dehan Fernando looking to pick it up and go with Mohan Vimalaratne.
Roll away, 16, roll away.
Nice pick up again that time from Fernando.
Right, no.
Police ever so close to the line, but the referee again giving him a penalty and saying time off. And he might have a word now because it's been a few penalties in the red zone.
Captain. Right. Tackle right? Please,
You read something about the hands and to inform the player, but there was no indication like next time it's a yellow, it's going under the post. I think those things have to be communicated, Shanaka. They must communicate to the skipper and say that, you know, next time it's going to be yellow. If I can't spot him, you go to the sin bin.
So an interesting call again from police. They're quite happy with what happened last time, so they're happy to call for the scrum. Hashan Fernando on the near side of the scrum and Danush Kedurusuri on the far side for police. They'll need to make sure they don't allow any scrum penalties. And Dimanta Tilakaratna goes to the right this time. Beautiful dummy from Primesh. Just couldn't get through the tackle of Tarindu Chaturanga. But Chaturanga did just enough in that tackle to win the ball and forced a holding on penalty from Primesh. He was a little isolated. Thought the pass from his number 8 came half a second too late, or that the number 8 should really have committed the flank and then given that pass. But once he got past the first line of defense, it was always going to be a bit of isolation for him.
Yeah, that's right. But interesting, Shanaka, the police halfback fed the first scrum from the tight head, and this one he fed the ball from the loose head. And I watched the Thomians playing yesterday, and the halfback was also feeding from the tight head. Same coach. I would like to ask him, what's the reason? Is there any particular reason you know of why the thumb half is feeding for the tight head? Earlier one was from the tight head, but this one he came from the on the loose head.
Well, I think you changed the sides of the channel 1 SW because channel 1 is usually on the left side of the scrum, and then suddenly it's from the right side of the scrum, depending on which way the number 8 wants to break. That's all I can think of. Ball went back off Tirina Bandara.
Please get back, White, get back.
It's untidy play from Kandy. Ramesh now gives it to Gihan Silva.
No!
Here's Hashan Fernando.
No! White back.
Johan Pires now to Hiroshina Silva. Vihanga Pevituru Suranga Tennakon couldn't get the ball back inside.
Use it.
Here's Dimanta Tilakaratna, runs into the tackle of Tarinda Ratwatta, who says he's enjoying the physicality of the number 12 position. Certainly we'll get plenty of that today. And here's Heshan Silva again, ripping the ball off the ball carrier. He's having the game of his half of his life so far. Janit Chanaka put on the floor but does well to keep the ball with him. Gihan Silva now coming in to help, and the police forwards finally arrive.
No! Stay back. Stay back. Release.
So police happy to use this tactic, draw in the Kandy forwards and be patient, wait for this game, which is an 80-minute game, and try to test the conditioning of this Kandy forward pack.
Yes. Please get back,
Still going in between the 50 meters and the 40-meter line. It's got a long way to go now, but Hiroshan Silva prefers to put the ball up in the air, which is probably a sensible thing to do. Well taken by Buddhima Piyaratna, who gets a lovely ball away off the floor to his halfback partner, Roshan Veeraratna. Jason Disanaik at halfback. Lovely hands from Shehan Patirana, and in turn from Damit Disanaik. Heshan Silva. Another ball carry from him.
Stay back. Stay.
Veeraratna. Here's Milan Veerasinghe, the former Kingswoodian, finding his way in to the center of the field. Buddhima Piyaratna now looks to put his ears back. Diluksha Dange just couldn't free his arms for the offload, but it won't matter because he's laid it back nicely for Roshan Veeraratna. Lasit Attanagoda in the center of the field. Milan Veerasinghe. Heshan Silva looking to break the line again. Here's Tarindu Chaturanga. It's really well to come back. That was
Time.
timeout, says the referee. That seemed like a fairly fortuitous penalty for Police to win. So looks like Danush Karanjan near that Nippon Paints A board on the floor there. Maybe he's making a comeback to training, SW.
There are two good three-quarters that are outside. We'll never see him playing touch rugby at the Havelock Park. And if he gets his the knees done, he should be back on the park. He's very, very good player. And Danush Karanjan, of course. And if they get on the park, this Kandy three-quarters are going to be awesome.
Yes, and not bad as it is. And with these two guys, I think they will really be the icing on the cake. It's a water break, so given the hot and humid conditions here in Colombo, teams have agreed that they will have a 1 minute water break at the quarter mark and the three-quarter mark. So at 20 minutes and 60 minutes, there will be a stoppage. They come back for that penalty, of course, to Police. Thought Primesh was well over the ball and off his feet when he contested that. But Police still get the penalty, which is something that they won't certainly be complaining about. And Johan Pires will look to get back into the Police half, into the Kandy half rather, to play some rugby in that part of the pitch. They came back without any points on the board, Changai, when they could easily have had 3.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So far the game has been a ding-dong battle, mostly in the center of the field, and then 1 or 2 sparks of breakthroughs by the big fours from the Kandy side and the three-quarters from the Police team. It's been entertaining so far. It's not boring, it's not dull, but they have, both teams have so far lived up to at least 80% of the game.
It's been a slow game, although it has been entertaining, SW. And in between the ball in play times, that's when it's been really slow. And looks like they're coming back for that first knock-on there. Ball knocked on in the line out by the Police player.
Yeah, something like what you witnessed just right now. They were playing ping pong up on the air. Nobody was taking it clean. So these are the set pieces that teams have to put it right. Catch it, control it, and feed the good ball either to the threes or to the oncoming forwards, whatever the game plan you have. You can't be playing, tossing up and like tossing a coin up and waiting it to drop.
Yes, it was a bit of volleyball there, wasn't it? Somebody trying to get the set. But this is what lets us down at international level as well, isn't it, SW? Because our domestic set pieces are so bad that when you get to the international level, you can't really put it right so quickly. Veeraratna now to Nigel Ratwatta, who opts for the safety of touch. But that's gone a little bit too far. Again, the conditions, perhaps with the wind behind him, just misjudged that a little and was going for the 50-22 kick, which is a great new rule, I think. But they have to come all the way back now to where Nigel kicked it from, because that ball went into touch in goal.
Yeah, you said it right, Shanaka. Absolutely 100% spot on. When you go for international matches, this is where we falter, because this is where the players get used to the lineouts, the restarters not coming proper. And it's not about the strength, it's not about the DC, it's about getting the restarts correct. You're absolutely right on that.
Here's what seems to be like the umpteenth scrum in this game with only 22 minutes gone so far. Johan Pires looping around his center three-quarter. And penalty again. Nice work there by Kamindu Pereira. Outstanding sevens player Kamindu is now moving in from the wing to play in the 13 channel alongside his good mate Tharinder Ratwatta, and he likes a bit of battle in the breakdown, does Kamindu, and did really well there to poach the ball and force the penalty. They seem to be changing kicking duties between the two Ratwattas, SW. Tharinder taking a few of them and Nigel taking a few others. So just making sure each of the players stay fresh.
Yeah, I know in between they said it doesn't matter, it's Ratwatta who's taking the kick. So really only the first name that changes. So and they're done pretty well, and even his Nigel's kick to touch was very cool and calm.
They've set up nicely behind this line out, and here's Shehan Pathirana who takes it off the back. Tarindu Chaturanga. Roshan Veeraratne for Nigel Ratwat. Kavindu Pereira running a decoy line. And here's some space for Buddhima Piyaratne. Lovely pop ball inside, and Srinath Surya Bandara will score. And that's a beautiful first phase try. Brilliantly worked all the way from the catch from Pathirana in the front of the line out to the decoy running and the angles that these Kandy backs ran. And then, of course, Buddhima Piyaratne with that searing pace on the outside and the skill to avoid the contact and just before the contact to pop that ball in to Srinath Surya Bandara. It was a lovely pop because Surya Bandara could hit it at pace. And at that kind of pace and that close to the line, there's no stopping Suri.
Now we know why Surya Bandara is playing as number 15 as fullback, because he's so fast coming and join the line. At the same time, the police three-quarters came up and they went back again to the players. That helped them too, because there was a gap between by the time they go back. As the conversion is good and the flags go up.
So it's 14 points to nil, courtesy of some individual brilliance and a little bit of luck from Heshan Silva for Kandy, and also a brilliantly worked team try from Kandy, now about 10 minutes apart from each other. But Police's body language not looking like the same body language that they had last week, SW, when they absolutely needed to get into this cup championship. They knew they were playing for their season, but now suddenly it looks as if they are feeling that they are the second best team on the park, and I don't think that this is the way they would want to play the rest of this game. They really need to pick themselves up and take this fight to Kandy, because they certainly have the goods to do it with.
You're spot on, Shanaka. You're getting everything on spot on. I'm just surprised. Fantastic analysis of that. Police are not playing, and as you see, another bad restart by Kandy, and Police are just attacking the goal line, but there's a whistle.
Well, that's an interesting one, SW. Be very interesting to see if Diluk Chadange gets a card here, but in fact they've come all the way back for an infringement further up the field. And Dange, if that play carried on up to then, I think that was a penalty off the restart, so taking out the support player perhaps was the call. Fortunately, no replays for us today.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you.
You're watching this match on MSN and, of course, on Sri Lanka Tuskers YouTube channel and Facebook page.
The referee score was man in the air. I think referees are missing that man in the air is a very dangerous thing, because danger for the man who's taking the man in the air and also the man who's gone up to catch the ball, because they must speak to the player concerned and maybe even at least a yellow card.
Ball is well off to the side, and Tirana Bandara takes it on his outside shoulder. And Police will opt for the scrum. Nippon Paints Rugby League brought to you by the Motorsports Network, which is the premier motorsports channel, which is now branching out into other sports, rugby being the first among those as well. They'll have a brand new channel for you from April to bring you all this rugby action from the knockout tournament. This, of course, is the Cup Championship game from the Nippon Paints Rugby League. Police feeding in from the traditionally open side, the left. Here's Gihan Silvak or Vihanga Pivithuru in centre field, busting it up the middle. The crash ball as we've come to know it now. It's a good run from Police again. They're looking good with ball in hand. They just haven't been able to secure enough of it in the last few minutes.
Back form. Stay.
Primesh looking for Dimanta Tilakaratne. It's great tackling again from Tarindu Chaturanga, who has really been outstanding in the loose. Danushka Edirisurya twisting his way into a tackle. Johan Peris with a lovely long ball over the top. And this is Dehan Fernando, who looks to put the goose step on but can't get past Shehan Pathirana. And that ball left behind, and Kavindu Pereira now tries to get away. Here's Pathirana. Attanagoda. Nigel Ratpatha sees a small gap opening up. Srinath Surya Bandara runs onto the ball, but police are waiting for him. Good tackle by Roshana Silva. Police captain leading from the front. Tarinda Chaturanga keeps going. Breaks 2 tackles. Here's Damit Disanayake. A long serving hooker for Kandy. Nigel Ratpatha straightens, and lovely show from Jason Disanayake before taking it into the 22-meter line.
Stay.
Kandy with some continuity now. They've
Stay back.
found their mojo, as it were.
No, no. Stay back.
Attanagoda making few meters, and they put that up for Buddhima Piyaratna to run onto, but I think Roshan Veeraratna knew that they were playing with the penalty advantage.
Yeah, he should have made use of the advantage because they were on a roll going through. The difference between the attacking teams, Shanaka, police are sending the ball a bit too much down deep to the 3-quarter line. They are about 15 meters away, where Kandy threes are staying up in attack and getting the ball in and making inroads. They are virtually on a line like as a what you call a league line, and they are penetrating the gaps where police are coming from deep down with top speed, and Kandy are just meeting up them halfway and getting them backpedaling.
Absolutely right, SW. And if you're playing from such depth, it's really important that you have decoy runners running off your shoulders, and maybe a few of them running different lines in front of the ball as well. But as you said, Kandy is playing very flat to the line and moving the ball quickly through the hands. Police are relying on their players to beat men in the first instance, and that's not really happening because Kandy's defense has been pretty good so far. So Kandy will opt for the line out. 5 meters out from the try line. Namit Disanayake will be a much happier man this time around this week with 3 options and some big lifters as well. Buddhika Talagampala, the forwards coach from Kandy, was an outstanding line-out exponent in his time for CRNFC, Kandy, Isipatana, and of course Sri Lanka. I'm sure he would have drilled this Kandy team well in the lineouts. And they go to their favorite, one of their favorite sons, Jehan Patirana. And police have done well with the small defense so far. They've driven it back, but now Kandy start marching towards the line. Tirina Bandara looks like he has it at the back, but Kandy do really well through Vagisha Veerasinghe to repel him from the line.
Please on the line.
Attanagoda. Really good defense that time by Dehan Fernando.
Look at back, look at back, look at back.
Kandy really have to make sure they hold this ball, and police need to make sure they don't infringe. Lovely ball infield from Jehan Patirana as Kavidu Pereira comes through, but it was just a shade forward. And police defense have done well so far.
They done well. They done well. They held there. And but Kandy couldn't keep it together, and there was an individual player who took it off from them. They should have finished it off with all 8 forwards over their goal line.
One of the police players going down. I'm sure they'll need a much needed rest. Danushka Edirisurya.
Up. One. That may I will cut. May I will cut. Right up.
Time is back on now with Danushka Edrisuriya. Finally, he's making his way up. He's a big lad. He's Edrisuriya on the tight head side of that scrum. He's been doing really well for Police in that front row. These Police forwards really have to get the confidence that they can mix it with this Kandy team.
Shanak, I see a board on that Nippon paint, the sponsors. It says auto refinish. Fantastic, isn't it?
Here's Dimante Tilakaratna going off the back, uses the fend on Patirana, but Ratwata gets him.
Right, stay. Stay back. Stay back.
Fernando to Johan Peris. It's almost on his own goal line as he clears that one away and does really well from the center of the field to thump that one 30 meters down the field. And maybe he's still inside the 22 though, but doesn't matter as he buys his team more than enough respite.
Yeah, he was calm and cool. He never rushed it around, got the good boot in as he has a very good boot. And to get them out of danger zone, definitely. I mean, it's a relief for the forwards.
Kandy with another attacking line out. They've been going to Patirana pretty much every ball, so this time they go to Jason Disanaika, and you can see why they keep going to Patirana, because the others are getting picked off. It's not an easy skill jumping in the line out, even though people are lifting you. It's all about your timing, making sure you have a relationship with your thrower, and also just the nous to get in front, understand what the defender is going to do. And that was a superb steal from Mohan Vimalaratne and allows his team to get another 20 meters up the field. So the sun seems to be going down SW here at Police Park and easing up on the heat a little bit, which will hopefully mean that the pace of this game increases a little. It's been a lot of time in between plays, so just people going to find the ball which has dribbled off somewhere, and water being brought onto the field, players getting injured. It's been a lot of downtime, as it were. Lasita Attanagoda at the front of the line-out. Veeraratna. Tirina Bandar. Here's Ratwata again for... Looks like there's a substitute on the pitch. Tell you who that is in a moment. Nigel Ratwata stepping.
No! Clear release.
Veeraratna again for Buddhima Piyaratna. Bumps off one. Can't get past Vagisha Veerasinghe though. He's been an absolute terrier. Probably plays whole games without touching the ball, Vagisha, and just making tackles. That was Danushka Edrisuriya dragging Heshan Silva down. Nice little pop ball, but it looks like it might have gone forward from Tarinder Ratwata. Looks like we might have Lavanga Pereira.
Hurry up, boys.
Or Oshan Pereira, in fact. The other twin, who has come on in the number 12 jersey. And Srinath Surya Bandara seems to have gone off SW, which means that there's been a positional shift for Kandy. Kavindu Pereira moving to the left wing, Buddhima Piyaratna moving to full back, and Oshan Pereira to 12, and Tarinder Ratwata to 13. So that one injury has caused a huge shift in the whole Kandy backline. Primesh, Piris, Hiroshima Silva caught well by the makeshift number 13, Ratwata. Primesh looking to go again. It's a tackle, so they have to release him. Mohan Vimalaratna makes more yards. Primesh now puts the box kick in for a tester for Piyaratna. He's as good a counter-attacker as Surya Bandara, if not better. Lovely ball to Veeraratna. Veeraratna looking for Jason Disanayaka, looks inside for Tarida Chaturanga. Kandy bursting their way into the 22. Here's Milan Veerasinghe. He's isolated and needs to find support. Finds it. And now Roshan Veeraratna will give it to Nigel Ratwata. And the two cousins overlapping. And on the left wing is Buddhima Piyaratna and Diluk Shadange trying to get away from one. And smashed in the tackle. Lairu Tirakaratna is the man who came across and made that cover tackle. It was a good one as well. Dange won't forget that in a hurry. It looks like it might be half time, is it? Yes, it is half time. So it's been an entertaining half of rugby in this Nippon Paints Rugby League. You can follow the second half, of course, on Motorsports SN. And follow us on all our social media channels. You can watch this game also on YouTube, on the Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers channel, Sri Lanka Tuskers, and on the Facebook page as well. As it's 14 points to nil to Kandy. They look like they should have been in a better position, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back.
Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන් Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන් Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන් නිපොන් ඕඩලස් පේන්ට්ස් තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන් නිපොන් ඕඩලස් පේන්ට්ස් තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 130ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන් නිපොන් ඕඩලස් පේන්ට්ස් තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම
Nippon Paints. Live with colors. Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint.
Very good afternoon and welcome to Police Sports Club grounds as we watch this Nippon Paints Rugby League game live from Police Park on Motorsports Network and of course on the YouTube channels of Sri Lanka Rugby Tuskers, SLR Tuskers, and on their Facebook page as well.
Yeah, okay.
Kandy are leading this Champions
Captain.
game by 14 points to 3. This Cup Championship game, I should say, by 14 points to 0 rather. As referee Veranga blows for the start of the second half. Police came close on a few occasions in the first half, but just couldn't convert pressure into points. And they'll be looking to do a lot more of that in this second half. They've got a few substitutes on the field as well. Straight down the center of the field, and Buddhima Piyaratna puts in a little wayward kick straight into the hands of Shehan Patirana. Patirana cuts back infield, and coming back was Lairu Tirakaratna to make a difference with that little intercept.
No! Off the field, Mike, off the field.
But immediately Police putting themselves under pressure.
Right, 9, use it.
Done well to recover, and Primesh will put that ball up and find a really good touch in the end, given what he started off with. So Police, that's been the story of the game so far for them, SW. They've just been not able to convert and putting themselves under pressure.
Yeah, because their option that they have taken has actually gifted the ball to the opposition, given Kandy Sports Club. Even that kick straight to the player, where he should have been thumping it down the park so that you gain yards. Of course, it'll be a return to sender. But nevertheless, you're not in danger zone. Shehan Patirana is coming back to the game. If another day, he would have scored that try. They're looking for support, but he didn't have the support. His legs are slowed down too.
Legs and arms as well. He would certainly have found a support runner previously, but just coming back into the swing of things into this first competitive game. Nice run by Milan Veerasinghe. Kandy product. Oshan Pereira, but the ball is spilled that time. But not before the Police line is offside, so they will come back.
Offside. Back off.
The Police defensive line offside. Referee Veranga making sure that the Police understand what that penalty was for. And Tarinder Atwatta from almost dead center in the field will look for the 5-meter line. Manages to find a decent touch, just about 7 or 8 meters out from Police's line. And you have to say, if Kandy score again, looks like Police might just be out of this game, so it's really important that Police manage to keep them out here for the sake of a competitive end to this match.
On the line, blue.
Attanagoda making sure that the jumpers know exactly what's required of them. Tirina Bandara.
Maul.
That's an easy one for him at the front of the line out, and Kandy set their maul. They had one previously, but Police bring it down. The maul is still moving though, so the referee has them for advantage. Still marching towards the center of the field. Roshan Veeraratna as Nigel Ratwatta comes back onto the blind side. Jason Disanayaka thinks he scored,
Penalty.
but he did put his foot in touch, so they will come back for the penalty.
Wait. Number 1. Time off. Captain, number 1.
Interesting line out, Shanaka. The ball was thrown to the peeling player, and he went back into the to the player who gave the ball from the line out.
Please. Don't do that.
Did you watch that?
Didn't quite catch that SW, but I get what you mean. Tirina Bandara taking it at the top and handing it off to the arriving player, who then just drives straight into the players in front of him. So that's accidental offside, if not an obstruction.
Hurry up, boys. Hurry up, boys. Boys on the scrum now, Connie, boys. Crouch. Bind.
So
Set.
Roshan Veeraratne to feed.
Steady.
Jason
7 in,
Dissanayake.
7. 7 in, 7. In.
Here's Jason Dissanayake looking for the pushover. Pops it up to Roshan Veeraratne. Nigel
Release,
Ratwatha
tackle.
missed an opportunity to hit that gap at pace. And Lahiru Tilakaratne just couldn't hold on to the
Captain.
ball. In fact, that's Gihan Silva who just couldn't hold on to the ball.
Time on.
Police right wing.
Right. Right. Please get back. Right. Difference penalties 3. Right. Chance then the back. Right.
So having a word with
23.
the police skipper, and I
23.
think it's number 28 he wants. He's calling for
28.
23, but he wants 28. Gihan Silva will be going to the bin. There's quite a few penalties in that red zone. And he went for the intercept, just couldn't hold on to the ball. And might count himself a little unlucky because it looked like a legitimate attempt at an intercept rather than just knocking the ball down. But police have been conceding quite a few penalties in this red zone.
Second row king in dunia.
Shanaka, to be honest, I was thinking about whether he was going to give the penalty against the forwards for coming from offside, infringing. But it's not the case. So the last part where I thought he went for the interception and knocked his hands off. What's the penalty for? It should be deliberate knock forward.
I think it was deliberately knocking the ball down.
Crouch.
Seen a few of those, but that looked one of the more
Set. Thank you,
genuine
boys.
attempts at
In.
intercept. Vagisha Veerasinghe using an interesting binding style. And it looks like the referee's gone under the posts for a penalty try. And police
Scrum making.
will hang their heads
Right. 2 minute penalties.
because that scrum really looked like it was dominating. And there was no answer that police had in the face of this very big Kandy front five. Even though police have been excellent, this
Time
Kandy pack is maybe just a cut above.
Yeah, they were struggling with the forwards.
2 minute
Actually,
penalties.
their
Scrum make
forwards,
wala na,
Kandy was struggling with the forwards. They got the numbers in, and maybe that's why Shehan Patran has come back. So the law is still on. Even if it's a penalty try, it's 7 points. You don't need to convert it. Thank you, Shanaka.
It's under the post, so I guess they think that it's just a foregone conclusion that it will be
White
converted.
17. White 17. Right.
Lasita Attanagoda will take a rest,
Blue.
as will Milan Veerasinghe. So Kandy bringing on the replacements. Yaqub Ali, and I'll tell you who else in just a moment. But police really haven't G'd themselves up right from the first try. Not looking the same side that they were last week when they had to play Army and in a must-win game. Tirina Bandara.
Play.
You can see Roshan Veeraratne just marshalling this game. Kandy going wide inside their own 22. Buddhima Piyaratne throws the ball wide. And Kavindu Pereira is absolutely livid with his fullback.
Option. Line out take the one is coming with forward pass. Option. Scrum make the line out take the one.
So the referee is just giving Hiroshina Silva, the police skipper, the option of the scrum or the line out because the ball went out but off a forward pass. So the team have the option of choosing the scrum for the forward pass or the line out.
Isanga nawatang ini Isanga.
And police have gone to the bench early trying to find their experience. Rasit Silva has come on. And they will want him to carry the ball quite strongly. Nice win at the front of the line out for Police. First phase ball after quite a bit of time. Nice run by Dimantha Tilakaratne. They've not allowed him to have a free rein, and that was another pass that was just inaccurate from Police, and Tarinda Ratwatta takes it up. And Roshan Veeraratne, recognizing that there was no one at the back, puts a nice little box kick in, but now Suranka Tennakon runs this one out and puts the kick in. Probably should have held on to that ball. As Buddhima Peyaratne lobs it back to Kavindu Pereira, who again thumps it up the field. So Kandy quite happy to keep this one in the Police half, and Manilka Ruberu has come on for Police as well in the number 12 jersey. So let's see whether the former Isipatana star player can spark something. He's in the number 20 jersey actually, although he's playing in the number 12 position.
Sir, I fail to understand why he kicked the ball there. After so much of hard work done, got through the first line of defense, got through the second line of defense, he had support on the outside and he opted to kick the ball away.
Yes, Police have been found wanting at the last phase. They've done so much so well, but when it comes to the last 10%, the decision making has let them down. Just what pressure can do to you. Jason Disanaika off the top. Eshan Silva, scorer of the second try for Kandy, or the first try for Kandy I should say. Hiroshina Silva flying up and catching Buddhima Peyaratne behind the gate line. Good defense from the Police captain. They'll need more of that. Tirina Bandara. Tarinda Ratwatta realizes that there's some space available, and there's the ball to Kavindu Pereira. Well picked up that time by Suranka Tennakon. Pereira was isolated and couldn't support the ball.
No.
Kandy line has been caught offside and attempted to charge down that kick, so they will get the penalty and the ball in the resulting line out as well. Johan Piri seems to have left the field, the Police fly half.
Most of them might not agree with me, Shanaka. It's better to give a penalty and give the 3 points rather than giving a penalty there, because there is a cushion for them to come back 30 meters. If you allowed him to clear the ball, he would have cleared about 10 meters and you still have the throwing. Those are the crucial areas that you should not give penalties. You rather give them to kick the ball, fine touch, you still have possession and you will be still in their half.
Absolutely, SW. It's about the net gain, the net profit as it were.
Time off.
Looks like another injury to a Kandy player. Right at the top of your screen, we'll try and tell you who that was. Mohan Veeraratne has been outstanding for Police. Coming back in the number 8 jersey, Shanaka Harishchandra. So they're opting to throw their more experienced players onto the park in the hope that they can spark something. Taridu Chaturanga doing really well in defense, has been making some outstanding tackles. Manilka Ruberu in the fly half position at the moment now. It's a lovely kick from the youngster, finding touch inside the 22. You're watching this match also on Motorsports Network, Sri Lanka's premier motorsports channel. Now branching out into other sports, including rugby. We're bringing you the knockout tournament in April on a completely new rugby channel. Lahiru Tirakaratne can't hold on to the ball, so Police guilty of not sticking with what works. Mohan Vimalaratne has been really good at the front. They keep insisting on throwing to someone else. Diluk Chadange convinced that that ball went backwards.
Please. Please get back. 23.
Little bit of a disagreement. I think the police forwards don't agree that the ball went back.
Both captain. Right. Right.
I think there was a bit of a agree to disagree and disagree to agree. Both teams are having a little bit of chit chat and fun. Why shouldn't they?
It's a game meant to be enjoyed, but you can see the stress on the face of both these teams. Kandy will be a little bit more relaxed because they feel that they've got this tied up, but they would want the bonus point, SW. Because all these points could matter in the final equation. Even though they're unbeaten so far, they have to travel down to Havelock Park to play Havelocks. That game is certainly not a foregone conclusion. Shanaka Harishchandra off the back of the scrum. Lays it back. Jason Dissanayake gives up the ghost as the ball is lost. And Primesh comes back to the blind side. Lovely ball from Hiroshina Silva to Janit Chanaka.
Stay back.
Here's Edri Surya. Mohan Vimalaratne. He's probably been one of Police's best players this afternoon.
Again advantage.
Here's Primesh. Manilka Ruberu with a little chip over the top. Buddhima Piyaratne juggles it. And although he comes away with the ball, Police were playing on an advantage.
As it is, the equations that stands now is that Kandy needs to win 3 out of 2 to win the cup. Whereas somebody got to drop Havelocks. Even if they beat Kandy, Kandy are on top with the bonus points. What it stands as it now. So it's 2 out of 3 for Kandy.
Might explain why the intensity is on a little bit lower. SW, now that this got the game wrapped up. Dopes seem to be overextending themselves and going to the bench early as well. It's an unfortunate sign. Kandy player down. It looks like it might be one of the prop forwards. Yaqub Ali, is it?
Kandy has some luxury of some super prop forwards. Tiki Jehan and the Swarna Tilakar brothers. Are they on the park still or have they given up?
Well, they've long since retired, I think. SW. The Swarna Tilakars were playing back at university when I was playing. So that's a long time ago.
Oh, I see, yeah. They had those prop forwards did yeoman service to the Kandy Sports Club. Jiva Galgamo was a brilliant captain too. And they have really come down and played their hearts out for Kandy Sports Club. And we have 2 other big boys playing for Kandy too as front row forwards.
Ruberu with the touch finder.
White six. Ball to pick run is the line.
Police desperate to get on the scoreboard, open their account. Vagish Veerasinghe is the man who will do that. Lovely peel off the front. And Veerasinghe has been one of their best players, not just today but for the season. Sold the dummy and went over in the corner. And he really deserves that try for the amount of defensive work he has put in today. And maybe this will mark the start of a spectacular comeback from Police, we never know. And with that try, Vagish has unfortunately gone down. I hope it's just a cramp. But a lovely front peel.
Yeah, fantastic. Good front peel drive, and they've executed so well. Kandy were in double minds whether to bind or not. Where they didn't get themselves committed. All of a sudden, it was a race against time. And Police just executed that brilliant, beautiful try in the corner. Well, at least the Crackers agree with me.
Not a fan of Crackers at all, SW. Beautiful kick. Right from the corner. Touchline conversion by Manilka Ruberu. It's a boy who can do everything, and I really hope they nurse him back to health.
All you need is 2 quick goals and you're back in level terms. And that penalty that they didn't take would have now come to good, because it would have been 10 points to 21. But having said that, icing on the cake with a brilliant conversion.
If Police can get themselves back into this game with one more goal, they will put Kandy under pressure and this game will hot up. It's what we're all desperate to see. Jason Disanayaka puts his hand to it, but doesn't connect.
Stay.
Ball seems like it might have gone forward, and it has. Police really need to start getting a bit more urgency into their body language, setting this scrum up quickly, getting into Kandy's half.
Hurry up.
I think you're right, Shanaka, about this warming up, starting off the game, and then you can see the fatigue coming in now from the body language of both teams, because it's very hot and humid, and I think the training sessions are also a bit too long. How much you need to cut down, because they need to energize their bodies and come back strongly. They need a break. They need a fresh, get things into the system what they have lost.
Primesh goes off the back, and this is something that he should be doing a little more of, sniping off the base of the Police pick and goes. Rasit Silva now.
No!
Good to see him carrying the ball, but in the wrong half of the pitch for him. Danushka Edrisuriya runs into Milan Veerasinghe, who has stayed on the park. Ruberu. It's a deep punt, but Buddhima Piyaratne is waiting for it.
Get back! White, get back!
Lovely run by Primesh, but runs straight into Tirina Bandara that time.
No!
Police keeping it tight, but tight is not going to win the game for them. Ruberu looking for support, but can't get his hands free.
Release!
Tirina Bandara coming up fast in the defensive line, making an important tackle behind the gain line. Edrisuriya. Akash.
Grip the ball.
Shanaka Harishchandra goes blindside.
Use it! ball to advantage.
Referee gets the call from the sideline saying there was a high tackle in the blindside move there by Chanaka Harishchandra.
29.
So police will have the penalty and another opportunity to get down to the right area of the pitch. And even though this game seems to have gone on forever, SW, it's only 60 odd minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I know, that's right. I mean, and also, to be fair, police have all of a sudden woken up and they're willing to play rugby. And their forwards are dominating. I would say our forwards battle in the desert because so much dust going up there.
Yes, indeed. And if this line out, which Manuel Ruberu has managed to put right into the 22, goes police's way, things might just start looking interesting. You can see Lasantha Vijayasuriya on the Kandy bench. Kandy manager looking a little bit nervous, more so than he was 5 minutes ago. Mohan Vimalaratne winning that line out at the back. Rasit Silva joins them all, and police now desperately need to protect that ball. And that was great defense by Kandy. Police needed to protect that ball better, SW. They did everything right, but somehow just weren't protecting the ball from the Kandy hands. Referee Veranga being very annoyed by Mohan Vimalaratne there because the ball went to ground, but a maul doesn't turn into a tackle. Would have been curtains for police if Mohan Vimalaratne went to the bin, because he's been their chief ball winner.
Boys, please get crouch. Bind. 2, 3. Set. Thank you, boys. 6 in 6. In.
Roshan Veeraratne screaming for it on the blind side. Eventually does get it. It's an untidy ball. Kandy's first phase execution, apart from that brilliant try that they scored in the first half, has not been great. Sure, they will go back home and try and polish up some of these moves. That being said, they have been decimated in the back line. Few positional shifts, a few injuries. The man who scored that brilliant try, Srinath Surya Bandar, has been off for quite a bit of this game. It's a knee injury. Police have yet another opportunity now. They've had a few. They're playing in the right half of the pitch. And that time the timing is just a little off. Mohan Vimalaratne seemed to have been taking his own time about getting to the back. And police squander yet another opportunity to put Kandy under pressure. And now Nigel Rathwatha is very happy to thump this one back into the arms of Janit Chanaka, who hasn't really had a run today. And that ball is out on the full, so the 50-22 is what they wanted to do. Quite a few players going down with cramp, Changa. It's a testament to how hot and humid it's been.
Yeah, we can't sit here and wait because we're sweating and then it's so hot, humid. Imagine the players that they had to run, tackle, pass, kick, do all sorts of things, shove, pull, and then we must be slapping them off completely. Police, on the other hand, golden opportunities missed to get the scoreboard ticking. They should have got one score on the scoreboard, either way of a penalty or a try or what. That would have woken Kandy up.
Yes, not being able to get a score on the board in the first half was really a problem for Police. The player down with cramp in the center of the field, but play goes on around him. Oshan Pereira, Nigel Ratwata looping, and here's numbers for Kandy. Buddhima Piyaratna just gets it over his head. But the pass is inaccurate, so again, even this champion Kandy outfit, so many experienced players, not able to find that last pass. I think both sets of courses, you can see Asanka Rodrigo there asking his players why they can't get into the right part of the field. I think even Fazil Marija will be asking his experienced lads why they didn't finish things off a little bit more emphatically. It's like Heshan Jansen is on the pitch as well in the number 32 jersey. Be interesting to see which position he occupies. Hiroshina Silva, the Police captain, has been doing yeoman service, making quite a few tackles. Nigel Ratwata asking the referee how much more time is left, and I think there's just about a 2-minute difference between our clock and the referee's clock. It says 27 minutes gone, so about 13 minutes left. It has been a fairly long 70 minutes so far, SW. So many stoppages. Very little ball in play time.
Bind. Set.
Eshan Jansen replacing Roshan Veeraratne. Let's see what he can do to cement his place in the side now that Veeraratne is getting on. Surya Bandara is hit by injuries, so Kandy need a scrum half to replace these two amazing players that they've had for so many years.
Get back, get back, get back. Stay.
Ruberu. Really good touch finder from him again under pressure. It's growing nicely into this fly half role, Manilka Ruberu. It would be nice for Sri Lanka Rugby to nurture players of this caliber. Manilka Ruberu, and Zubair of CRNFC, Janidu Dilshan of CH. All midfield players who can really make a difference. Owen Hettiarachi, who played so well for St. Thomas's yesterday. There's plenty of assets in midfield, some big lads as well who can contribute in the sevens game.
What do you want?
And, that ball was deemed to be not straight. Referee getting a call from the sideline again from his assistant, Ishank Abekun on the far side.
Hurry up, boys. Ishank, moko prashne. Time off.
So there's a little bit of hassle with some of the maybe the pool players coming on the other side, and he occupying the bench. I think that is Mahesh Siranayaka, who is the match commissioner who is talking to the referee with regard to the non-participant on that side sitting near the bench.
The match commissioner has a thankless task. There's plenty to oversee on match day, especially now with COVID protocols as well.
I think the owners will come on to the. They should know what the regulation, the laws of the World Rugby laws with regard to the substitute benches and who should be staying there. If they stick to that, it becomes a very easy job. The fact is that people outside try to creep in, and I don't know for what reason, because if you watch the match from there or over here, we are watching the match, it's the same match.
Absolutely, SW, and all it does is it just lengthens what has been this tragicomedy of a long game. It's like a Shakespearean production that's been so long. Referee Veranga, it's his duty as well to manage everything once the whistle goes. So he has to ensure that the conditions are safe, not just for the players, but for himself and his team as well.
Shakespearean. What's his, Macbeth?
It's long, that much. And often you're not really sure what's going on, so...
Maybe a little bit of version of Menace.
Right, seconds. Forward.
Finally, we can get the game back underway after a completely unnecessary stoppage.
In.
Primesh to Akash. Madhusanka. Shanaka Harishchandra looking for contact. Finds Nigel Ratwatha's right shoulder, which feels that contact. Hiroshima Silva looks like he really is struggling with cramp.
Stay.
Suranga Tendakun goes into the fly half berth. One of Police's lone warriors, Mohan Vimanaratna today. Ruberu to Akash Madhushankar. Lovely ball to Janik Chanaka. Janik Chanaka stepping in, stepping out. Still going. Dragged down by Shehan Patirana in the end, who has made quite a few contributions for Kandy, even though he's returning from
First arriving player.
a very short retirement. Tarindra Ratwatha, who's not had a lot to do in attack,
Behind the line. Behind the line.
but been tested physically in that midfield, and they haven't really let too much through there.
.328.
There's even more time off as Police completely empty their bench. Know they need a bit of energy. And Mohan Surya Peruma comes on. Udara, I should say.
Time off.
One of Police's most experienced players. Outstanding line-out jumper in his prime. But
Right,
still
okay, Sank,
well
okay.
worth
Okay, Madhu.
10 minutes.
Wait.
Time is back on.
Right.
Easily
Mal,
taken by
Seven, get
Shan
back.
Pathirana, who has put in a real shift today. Maul dragged down, but the referee saying that wasn't collapsed. Oshan Pereira to the looping Kavidu Pereira with the Mapiaratna. Yes, Diluk Shadange getting round on the outside of the first tackle, but not past the tackle of Akash Madhushankar. Heshan Jansen. Tirina Bandar. Isolated, but he has quick ball. Ratwata. Here's the call from Buddhima Piyaratna. Piyaratna goes off to the side, but again
Forward
it
pass.
looks like it's a forward pass. And it's about the second or third forward pass that Buddhima Piyaratna has thrown, or Kandy has thrown from in try-scoring positions. And that's just not good enough from the side that is looking to become champions of this Nippon Paints Rugby League.
Time off.
They still have the luxury of advantage, penalty advantage, so they brought back play.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll
And Shan Pathirana for a moment I thought, okay, what a start. A 5-pointer. But not to be. And that pass looked forward for us, so it must definitely a forward pass there. But they got the benefit of the advantage penalty, and Ratpata with the ball might find touch in the corner.
Offside.
Kandy will look to really underscore this performance with a bonus point. And they've got the last few minutes of the game in order to be able to do that.
On the line. On the line.
Damit Disanayake, who's been on for the whole 80 minutes, will throw. Patrina at the front. Udara Surya Peruma somehow comes around. Ball need Damit Disanayake thought it scored, but needs to take it from the mark. 6 minutes more on the clock, according to the referee.
Side. Contact gain line question. What are you calling into that?
Udara Surya Peruma asking exactly why he was penalized. It's because he came through the line out before it was over.
Second in.
It's interesting that
Crouch.
a lot of the players seem to have very little knowledge of the laws. SW, and it's important that coaches focus on that as well, and they work together with the referees in the off-season to make sure the players, especially in the line-out, because you have to say that the laws are pretty complex in rugby, and it's important that the players are properly advised of it so that there are no misunderstandings of what the referee is blowing and the coaches have told them.
Yeah, I know you're right, because interestingly, I remember when I was refereeing long years at the Premadas Trophy at the Sukata Stadium, there was a kick by the fullback, and there was the others were standing in the in-goal area. In the in-goal area, there was a deep pass to the fly half. He kicked the ball, and the centre was in front of him, charged down. I said offside, and he came and told me, sir, I was in the in-goal area. I said, yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, he was a national player at that time. And after the match, he told me I didn't know that.
Offside still applies because it's open play, and that scrum has collapsed in a heap. But the referee will play advantage. Again, another forward pass from the Kandy players. And this is something that Fazil Maraja will need to work on. It's either the support players are overrunning the ball, or the ball carriers are delaying their passes. Whatever it is, Kandy have thrown away a few scoring opportunities just as a result of forward passes today. I don't think we've seen so many in one single game in a long time.
Yeah, certainly not from Kandy. And the interesting part is the referee went down to the post for a penalty try when there was a scrum collapse near the goal line. Same thing happened there. There was a scrum collapse in the goal line. So I don't know whether maybe he's having a chat and saying, okay, next time I'm going under the post again. And please don't send me to under the post. It's a long distance from here.
It's a long conference between referee Veranka and the front five of police. Everybody seems to be on the same page now as we finally come to actually play this scrum. Kandy's superior weight advantage. I think Milan Veerasinghe has been really good on the far side of that tight head side of the scrum.
Bind, set, steady.
Great body positions from the Kandy team at the moment. Police just unable to hold on. And Jason Dissanayake will fight his way towards the line, but desperate defense of Manisha Veerasinghe again. Eshan Jansen. Nigel Ratwata looking for a willing runner, but doesn't spot a gap to put the ball into. Thinks of going himself.
Heads up.
It looks like it's the police hooker, Fernando, that is going to the bin because he stood up in that scrum. And as soon as the pressure came on, it looks like the police front row just wheeled away. And it is a safety issue, which is why it's dealt with so severely.
So it's back to the same spot, Chanaka. Having said that, I think Kandy should finish it off. They should have finished it off, taken the ball over the goal line. As you see, a yellow card to the front row player. And since they don't have anybody in the front row, they got to send a third row flanker or a third row player or a three-quarter into the sin bin and get one of the front row players. What will the referee do now?
Kandy will do exactly the same thing. This time it's Namit Dissanayake that stands up. The scrum is completely disintegrated, so not sure what they're waiting for. Oshan Pereira. Yet another forward pass, is it? Ravindu Pereira cannot believe his luck.
Isn't that a beautiful thing to see, the sight? A scrum wheeled and the number 8 was binding with the blues. And there were no whites there. He was binding with the blues. The scrum should have been over.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that many times before, SW.
First time I'm seeing it, not many times, Shanika, because the scrum wheeled so much and the blue players were binding with one lone Kandy player. How interesting is that? That shot must be worth $1 million.
Well, they seem to like this particular corner of the field, all these 8 forwards. Because they don't seem to be very keen on getting out of there.
Right, crouch! Bind, set.
To me, I think it would have been a penalty try and done and dusted. Just get out from the place because they were collapsing. Every time you see the players coming up once again.
And they're standing up again. So, yep. I think that's the correct call that time. Namit Dissanayake driving upwards.
See, Kandy lost 7 points there.
So it looks like the game is almost over, mercifully. And Manilka Ruberu is wondering what he should do, whether he should actually kick it to touch and prolong his team's agony and ours. Because they will have to play the line-outs.
Not over yet, Chanaka. Stay on your seats. Hold on to your horses. We still have got a few minutes to go, the line out. And of course, police win and they opt to put the ball into touch. Then it's all over. hopefully it's all over. It depends on the referee's call, referee's timing.
Ball.
Udara Surya Peruma wins it at the front, and this is a good maul from police. Made 10 meters. And Shehan Patirana somehow comes through and attacks Vagesh Vijay Singh, Veer Singh, who had the ball. It's a good battle on that open side between two really quick players. Veer Singh, of course, a much younger one. Shehan Patirana, more intelligent one in terms of experience, and Vagesh will really learn a lot from playing against a player like Shehan Patirana. It's another wonderful touch finder for Manil Karuberu. It's an outstanding distributor of the ball as well. SW, I really would like to see him in Sri Lanka colours sooner rather than later if Sri Lanka managed to get some kind of international assignment.
He has made a tremendous change in the side and the game from the time he came on the park, Shanika. Virtually he's taken the entire police team across to the up to the Kandy team with his booming kicks, his decisions to run the ball. And if you see another forward play, the peel in front, but this time, of course, a bit far off from the goal line. As you see, there's police forwards making headway, making yards.
Release.
It's a good bus from Rasit Silva, who's going again now, close to the line. And Tharidu Chaturanga didn't release at all. He was with one hand, one knee on the floor. I thought that might have been a penalty try as well.
One knee ground. First
because Rasit Silva looked like he was over the line there when Tharidu Chaturanga got down on one knee and wrestled the ball away from the tackled player. Nishant Fernando now takes this forward. Kandy will want to try and keep the scoreline as it is. Ruberu, not sure that was the ideal tactic, but
Number 6.
should probably have kept that ball in hand, police.
Number 6.
And again, number 6 for a high tackle. So Tharidu Chaturanga has done his job. He won't mind that. It's the last few minutes of the game, but
Number
it's been
6.
a real nuisance at the breakdown, making some important tackles as well. One of those real hard-nosed number 6 players.
If I was a Kandy player, I would have said, yeah, I said the game was over and confused the referee and all of us too. But nevertheless, this game has been, I think, not raised any spark at all. It has been in slow motion. Kandy wants to just win the match and preserve their players, not getting injured and go back because the grounds are so hard. It's humid and it's Colombo.
Yes, it's been death by 1,000 cuts almost for us. Referee right in the middle of that. And the referee saying that it was held up. Vagesh Veerasinghe insists that he got it down. But he's going to have a chat with Ishanka Abekun. Seeing if he had a better view of it coming down.
Another time 5.
It's full time and that's the game. So 21 points to 7 is how it ends. And police just couldn't get that ball down from the
Held up.
maul. Held up is the call. Vagesh Veerasinghe, I can't believe it. But that's exactly what it is. And unfortunately for police, they just don't manage to get that consolation try at the end. 21-14 would have read much better than 21-7, which does certainly read better than 21-0. But at the end of the day, police not turning up. Neither did Kandy turn up, but Kandy's not turning up was a little bit more effective than police's.
Yeah, very, very true, Shanika, because the game didn't live up to the expectations. That's because one team, police, were not really themselves. And having said that, the end was so welcome. As a sport lover who wants entertainment, I think that was what it is. Because maybe the heat was too much, but the body language certainly was not in gear for that kind of thing that police would have come out to be the champion team.
Well, we come to the end of the second match in this second round of competition, the Cup Championship. Kandy winning today and Havelocks winning yesterday. So they keep on for the collision course. Thanks very much to all of our production team here from SW Chang and myself. It's good night from Police Park.
Life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Live with joy. Live with nature. Live with hope. Live with trust. Live with dreams. Live with happiness. Inspire your life with colors. Nippon Paint. Nippon Paints. Live with colors.
ආදරයේ සුවකෙන්දා වර්ණ රසකී මන බඳිනා විශ්වාසේ හද බැඳුනා ජීවිතයේ රසමවනා
වසර 102ක විශ්වාසයෙන් දැන් ඕඩලස් තාක්ෂණයෙන් Nippon Odorless Paints. තත්වයෙන් උසස් හොඳම තේරීම.
Nippon Paints. Live with colors.